Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Kevin, and today I have another prepping video for you. And this is actually some pretty odd and interesting news that has been released here lately. Some interesting things that Target and Walmart and other big retailers are starting to do or considering doing that we should all be aware of. Let's talk about it. So Target, Walmart, Gap, American Eagle Outfitters, and other big store chains have reported in their latest earnings calls that they have too much inventory of stuff ranging from workout clothes, springtime jackets and hoodies, to garden furniture and bulky kids' toys. And it is costing them tons of money to store it all. Now, like I said, this is a prepping video. The list doesn't include a surplus of food. It doesn't address empty shelves and food shortages, or at least food shortage related empty shelves, but I'm going to get to that here in a minute, so just stick with me. Now, stores are considering just handing customers their money back and letting them keep the stuff they don't want, so the stores don't have to deal with the returns. Stores don't have the physical workforce to manage the returns. We've seen it. You've seen it in my past videos, particularly Target, which, my Target near me usually has a extremely long line of people waiting to check out through the self-checkout. Ultimately, the store itself is short-staffed and don't have the people to even execute the transaction and complete the sale, let alone process returns and repackage and put items back on the shelves. So stores don't have the physical workforce to manage the returns. Labor shortages exist as retailers attempt to lower overhead and keep employees under overtime hours and preferably a part-time hour level. And so, we do have record unemployment right now. We do. There aren't that many people who don't have jobs, but those who do have jobs will probably, especially in the retail market, contest that they don't get hours. So there's a huge labor problem that we're faced with, and it is as these retailers and these big companies like Walmart and Target and Costco and Sam's Club and Sprouts and BJ's Wholesale, they have the employees, they've hired them, but they're trying to mitigate their costs. They're trying to lower their overhead, and the best way to do that is to limit their hours. Limiting their hours, keeping them into a part-time level, reducing additional costs associated with full-time employees, or especially salaried employees. But we're just talking about the hourly employees right now. Reductions in added costs associated with healthcare benefits, retirement plans, and 401ks and things like that they eat away at companies' profits, especially now as these companies are seeing the fallout from the pandemic and the post-pandemic recovery. Recent video I posted sharing a video from a truck driver who previously made deliveries for Walmart. Walmart cut back on how much they're paying the truck drivers to deliver their loads. They're cutting back on hours. They're cutting back anywhere and everywhere that they can possibly cut back. The one place I haven't seen a cut back on is Walmart Spark, which I'm going to bring you guys some information on Walmart Spark here very soon. I actually signed up for Walmart Spark, and I recorded the entire process so you guys can see what it's like to do it if this is something that interests you. And this is actually Walmart's way of moving away from the actual Walmart employee and moving into more of a contract employee through this Spark program. Now, I can't say that it's going to be the best option for everybody, but it is an option moving forward. And right now, I haven't seen any cuts as far as how much people are earning through Spark in relation to how much Walmart is not paying owner-operator independent truck drivers to deliver their loads. And then it's kind of twofold, because the truck drivers are also dependent upon and at the mercy of the broker who manages the logistics for the loads, and basically how much they're going to get paid and how much they're willing to sell the load for, and ultimately the difference of that is their profit. But the beauty of Spark is that, number one, it's in an industry that pretty much is going to be extremely sustainable, for the fact that people will continuously need food and food delivery for multiple reasons as to why people would use the service or have to use or need to use the service. But on top of that, Spark doesn't limit you, as you are able to earn tips, which, owner-operated truck drivers do not have that ability. Theoretically, companies could do it, but Walmart is not going to be tipping a driver for making a delivery. They're just trying to cut back on how much they're paying. So the tips work on a personal level, consumer level, and that's just one person understanding the hard work and effort that goes into keeping our economy going and bringing them the things that they need that they've ordered. And on the other side, the person who's actually making the delivery for Walmart Spark, doing a good job, being professional, kind and courteous, and prompt, they've earned it. If the person who made the order is in a financial position and capable of tipping and tipping well, more power to you. And this could possibly be a great opportunity for some additional income, supplemental income, or primary income if you don't have a job or looking to switch jobs. But a recent retail expert said that for every dollar in sales, a retailer's net profit is between 1 and 5 cents. So basically, for every dollar in sales, you're looking at 1 to 5% net profit. Very low margins. As a business owner, my business, I was aiming for, it was a 25% gross profit margin. And my overhead was anywhere from 15 to 20%, depending on the time of year and other various factors. But shooting for a minimum 25% gross profit with an overhead of 15 to 20%. So therefore, if I hit the higher 20% overhead and my minimum gross profit was 25%, that means I was making 5% net, which would be the 5 cents per dollar that they're talking about here. Ideally, 30%, 35%, 40% was really the goal. Like I said, 25% was the minimum. And to make 1 to 5 cents per dollar, especially in the retail segment, Walmart, Target, Sam's Club, Costco, all these big retailers, there's no way I would do it. No way I would do it for the amount of effort, the liability, the risk. It's just not worth it. Returns typically cost most retailers between 15 and 30%, or 15 and 30 cents per dollar to handle and possibly resell or offload them to liquidators to resell in Europe, Canada, or Mexico. So based on that information, and this is from the retail expert, based on that information, it would cost the stores more to process returns than it would net them to actually sell the product to begin with. And given the situation at the ports and the container shortages, sending products overseas isn't really an option right now. We're about to see a huge shift in the market, and these stores are going to be beginning to make some major changes overall. And they're going to have to because the numbers are just not working out. You don't have to be a finance major. You don't have to be a finance major. You don't have to have a degree in economics to understand if you're continuously losing money, you have to put it into it. You have to stop. How long would you work where, every week you earn less, you spend, how long would you continue working a job that paid you enough so that every week you kept losing money? And that's where these big retailers like Walmart and Target, Sam's Club and Costco, BJ's Wholesale, they are all feeling it. And so how does this tie into food shortages and possible food shortages and empty shelves related to food shortages? Number one, if you guys can, it's not going to be feasible for everybody, but if you can, grow your own food. Grow your own food. Not just plants and vegetables, but raise some chickens, get some eggs, get some cows, keep them out of the sun, keep them out of the heat. You don't want the cows dropping dead like they did in Kansas. But do all you can to build up your prep, because what'll happen is these stores like Walmart, Target, for instance, Publix. Now Publix, I bet you, is on a little bit different schedule, and I bet you Publix makes a little bit higher profit margin and as a 100% grocery store, they probably have less returns. Therefore, they don't have the excessive cost with managing returns. But as a grocery store, they also have lots of perishable foods with expiration dates, best by dates, sell by dates, things that have to be thrown away. So they could be realizing their losses, not so much in the cost of processing a return, but just in the cost of doing business and having groceries that have shelf life dates to them that don't last forever. So, but as these companies, these stores, and the biggest problem is what they're doing now is they're getting in a massive surplus of inventory that they don't have space for. They don't have anywhere to put it. They don't have anywhere to store it. They don't have the people to process it. And these are old shipments that were sitting on container ships and containers that were ordered during the pandemic, that were sitting at ports, that are finally being unloaded and released and finally hitting the stores. And now they're out of season, they're out of date, people don't want them, people don't need them. And our economy is taking a shift. The government isn't pumping money into the economy like they were with stimulus checks. The government's not pumping money into the economy like they were with unemployment benefits, child tax credits, paycheck protection programs, emergency income disaster loan, EIDL loans. Everything that the government was doing to pump money into the economy, they stopped doing. We've seen record inflation. The Fed chairman, Jerome Powell, is doing his damnedest to try to curb inflation by increasing interest rates, making every dollar borrowed cost more. And, you know, as these retailers, you got to think, they're not operating on a 100% cash basis. So pretty much everything that their business operations are run on credit. So if it costs more to borrow money, that just means they're going to make less. And, you know, at a time where Americans are really paying much more attention to the finances as the stock market is crashing, crypto's crashing, real estate market is not crashing yet, but we're going to wait and see how that one plays out. But ultimately, at the end of the day, our economy is taking a shift, and it's really taking a shift for the worse, and making people really reconsider and reevaluate their expenses, their disposable income, their income in general. And a lot of these things, these products, these highly desired, back-ordered, unavailable, out-of-stock products that people really, really wanted during the height of the pandemic that are now rolling in, people don't want them. They don't want them. The stores that bought them, these Walmarts and Targets, these big box retailers that bought them, even Amazon's not immune, probably paid a premium for them because they knew they wanted them, they knew they needed them, they were trying to capitalize on the demand by producing the supply. Now it's too late. Now they've overpaid. Now they have too much inventory. Now people aren't buying them, and it's a game changer. And so for them to look at it like, hey, we're going to take a loss if we return these products. So maybe we can take less of a loss if we just let you keep the products. But at the end of the day, a loss is a loss. So if these companies continuously take on these losses and lose money, they're going to have to make a decision. And the decision is more than likely going to be, hey, one, we're going to go out of business. We're done. Two, we're going to have to jack the price up on some other things to offset the losses that we're seeing over here. If they jack up the prices, they're going to jack up the prices on the food. That's pretty much their only option. They're going to have to jack up the prices on the necessities that people need day to day, every single day, that they're not really willing to go without. So they're going to have to jack up the prices on the food. On the flip side, if they decide, say, we're not going to do this, we're done with this, we're going out of business, then that just hurts us collectively on a large scale, because now we've lost the supplier and the source of the foods that we need, creating a food shortage. Sure, the store won't exist for us to walk through and photograph and record and bring you videos of showing empty shelves, because the store will be closed. So in essence, it would be creating a food shortage, not one that we would physically and visually be able to see like normal. But if you were to lose your local grocery store, if you were to lose your local Walmart, Whole Foods, Target, anybody who sells groceries, maybe they don't sell groceries exclusively, they sell groceries in conjunction with other things like Walmart does, and Target does, and Costco. But if you were to lose that one in where you shop in your city, what kind of effect do you think that would have on you and your community overall, negatively? Because now everybody's going to have to go to another store. Thus, that one store that went out of business, that closed its doors, It's created a food shortage at that store, right? So now the surrounding stores, neighboring stores within, a few mile radius, they're going to see an increase in volume. That increase in volume is going to take a hit on their inventory, levels, on their cycles, on their turns. So basically, these stores, they have what's called turns, and typically, they'll probably see, like, I don't know, grocery stores will probably see, I bet you they'll probably see like 4 or 5 turns, 6 turns maybe a month. Basically, getting deliveries in once a week. So that's how often they're turning their inventory. But if they start to see an increase, let's just say just a 10-15% increase in volume in the store because another store nearby closed, and they're operating just barely getting by on 4 or 5 or 6 turns a month, they're probably going to need 8, 9, 10 maybe turns that they can't get. Therefore, now creating a food shortage at that store. So do you see the implications of the actions of these companies and the writing that's on the wall, some of the things that they're considering doing? They are losing money. They're bleeding chips. Eventually, they're going to have to make a decision. They're going to have to make a call. They're going to have to make a change to either stop the bleeding or just end it altogether. I mean, that's pretty much, it's the business is almost like real life. And, if you bleed out, that's it, so they are in those positions, basically, and we're in the positions as well based on what they decide to do, what they end up doing, what they're forced to do. And, at the end of the day, even if they do decide to go out and maybe we are lucky, maybe we don't see food shortages, maybe these other stores start capitalizing on the inventory, the food deliveries that other store was going to get because they're out of business and everything's fine. But now you got to think about it. That one store has just completely lost its entire staff. That staff is now unemployed. It's going to hurt those people. It's going to hurt the economy. It's going to hurt their income. It's going to hurt their ability to pay their bills, get paid every week. And, we're already up against the wall, behind the 8 ball with gas prices being, $5, $6 a gallon, maybe $7, depending on what part of the country you're in. And we have oil refineries going offline. We're going to have more diesel shortage issues. Truck drivers don't want to deliver food to stores, so the stores won't, not just food, they don't want to deliver anything to the stores because they're not making any money. And they're actually getting screwed by the brokers. We're going to talk about that later. But the brokers and the dispatch, I mean, they are really screwing over these drivers, and it's bad. And, Economic Prepper actually put up a video yesterday, and he said a truck driver he spoke with was driving since he remembers gas and diesel was at like crazy double-digit cents amounts, not dollars, cents. So he's been in the game for a minute, and he's finally decided to hang it up because it's just there's no money there. So, with stores considering like Walmart, Target, Costco, Sam's Club, BJ's Wholesale, and Amazon too, considering just letting people keep their returns to not have to realize the loss associated with processing them, is a signal that business is on the decline. Business is in danger, and we could see mass layoffs and high unemployment levels on top of inflation very, very soon. And like I said, Amazon is not immune. Amazon actually has been doing this for a while, and I didn't really notice it or really think too much about it back in the day, but there were times where I would go online, and very few, because actually a lot of the things I ordered from Amazon I kept. I didn't have any real issues with the products that I ordered from Amazon, but there were a few times when I would make a return and Amazon would just say keep it. And I understood at the time why they said it, because it was a really, really inexpensive item, and basically it was going to cost more to ship it back than it was worth for the refund. And that's just the shipping. And on Amazon, it's discounted level, so then you have to think about, all right, the labor required to process this and disrupt their ability to continuously sell and make money. They just said keep it. I didn't think anything of it at the time. It was like a one-time occurrence for me, no big deal, and it wasn't a widespread issue, but it makes sense why they would do it. But on top of that, today, much bigger issues at hand. And today, you got to think that if this information ends up being abused and misused by some, people are going to start going out and buying things purposely that they want, need, and plan to keep, only to try to return it to hopefully be told to keep it. They're theoretically getting it for free. These are ways that businesses are going to continuously see massive losses and blow after blow after blow, and eventually they're going to have to make a call. Either they're going to say, we're done, we're not going to keep doing this, we can't keep doing this, or they may jack up prices on everything, and or they may just say all sales are final, no returns, period. Returns could possibly see higher restocking fees on everything, really making you reconsider what you're buying. Returns could have a 1 to 2, like a 48-hour return policy. Like, you don't have 30 to 90 days to think about it. Think about it. Think about if you run a business and you operate a business. Comment below if you're a small business owner, you operate business, and you understand what I'm saying here. But imagine if you run a business and you offer some of these return policies that some of these companies offer, like 30, 45, 90-day return policies. Imagine you operate a business for 3 months and your numbers look good, okay? Let's just say you operate a business for 3 months, your numbers look good, they look okay. You're making 5 cents on the dollar, you're making 5% net profit. Not huge, but hey, you're not losing money, 5%. And then all of a sudden, on day 89, you get a bunch of returns, and now you're in the red. Now you're losing money. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, this is what these companies are up against. So, like, if that was you, you're going to have to make a choice. Do I continuously operate this business and risk it all, sweating every single day, every single night, concerned and worried about my family and my well-being and my ability to buy food and put groceries, stock my pantry and feed my family and prepare for tomorrow? Or do I jack up my prices? Do I make it so people can't do this and can't return it? What do you do? These are the changes that are coming to our society. These are changes that are coming to our economy. Our world is moving to a entirely online shopping basis. It will happen, I guarantee you. And I'm actually working on a platform that's going to allow a lot of people to take their businesses that used to be brick and mortar locations and put it online, much like Uber, much like Lyft, much like Spark, much like Airbnb, much like VRBO. We're working on that because this is the direction that the economy is going. You can hate it all you want, but you got to realize it's happening. And, you can either get with it or you can get left behind. But at the end of the day, please understand and realize that businesses they're losing money. Their backs against the wall. We're witnessing a market shift. We're witnessing a correction. We're not crashed yet, but the plane is going down. The engines are on fire. It's making that little whoop noise as it's going down. You know that it's over when you hear that whining noise. And bankruptcies are coming. They're coming. And don't think that, oh my God, Revlon filed bankruptcy and then their stock price went up. Don't think that this is an indication that there's some good to be had here and that everything's going to be okay. No. There's some people out there who are manipulating the stock and crypto market, and we've seen it with Hertz Rental Car, we've seen it with AMC, we've seen it with GameStop, we're seeing it with Revlon. They are playing the market, and they're playing against other people's fears, and it's more of a ego trip and a challenge and a competition than it is any actual representation of the value of the company based on the stock price. And anybody who gets involved in it who doesn't know what they're doing is screwed. Like worse than Elon Musk and Dogecoin getting screwed, and he's getting sued for $258 billion by Keith because he misled him. But Keith was an idiot, and Keith didn't know any better. And he made all his financial decisions based on a TikTok and a Twitter and a Saturday Night Live promotion, And he did zero market research. He was investing in a meme coin that he knew nothing about. It was a joke from the start. Dogecoin to the moon. We're going to put it on SpaceX rockets. It's silly. But if you get involved with this and you go down the wrong path, and I'm not saying I'm giving financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing with you information that's readily available to the public. But, I want you guys to be aware. I want you to open your eyes. I want you to see. I want you to understand. I don't want you to get hurt. But you got to realize the direction that our market is going, the direction that business is going. We're in the middle of a shift. You can win from this. You can. You don't have to lose. But you have to be smart. You have to be aware. You have to pay attention. And you got to do what is best for you, your family, your survival. Be prepared. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you would, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on notifications. Share the video. Share the channel. Hit me up in the comments. Keep the emails coming. I'm going to keep replying to you guys as fast as I can, as quickly as I can. And I'll have another update for you guys as soon as possible. Please take care. Be safe. You guys have a great rest of your day. Talk to you later. Bye.